Okay, I'm going to mute everyone and get started. I'm going to carry on with entries. Of course, as always, you can unmute at any time, ask me a question, and I am recording this and it'll be up on YouTube probably later today. So I was talking about entries and we looked at a lot of examples. I want to look at a few more um, slightly advanced examples, not advanced, just the next step in terms of talking about entries. And one is preserving your entries. Let me get to the right spot in my notes here. This is an example where preserving entries means making the best use of them. In this case, the long side of the hearts is these four cards down here. And I've put these clubs in, so this hand has plenty of entries, but if I had reversed the clubs, in fact, I should do that in the future, put the big clubs up here, then I would have a way of failing this hand such that I could play the ace first, and then I could lead over to the queen, and you can see how I have not preserved my entries. Of course, here I have this ace, king, queen, so I can get back over and use the king, queen. But if I didn't have those, then the clearly the way to do this to preserve our entries is to play the high card from the short side first, and that means you win the first trick with the queen, and then you have the little card to lean back to your ace, king, queen. Another example is this one, where in the dummy we have a long suit of hearts, and we have 8 hearts altogether. In this case, we can develop extra tricks through length. If we win the first 2 tricks with the ace and the king, for example, and we see that the opponents all follow suit, yeah, they're all following, that means that if we play one more card in hearts, that the opponents will be out of them. Now at this point, the 8 and 6 of hearts here, they're perfectly good. And I have no way to get to them because I don't have an entry. But we can play this combination differently, and we can preserve our entry to the dummy by recognizing that we have to lose one trick in order to set these up. So why not lose the first one? Let's look at that. If I give them the first trick, I'm just playing low intentionally. It looks funny when you do it at the table. Why didn't you win that trick? Now, when they come back with the clubs, that's all they gave them. We can win it. And assuming that the opponent's cards broke 3-2, we really won't know until this trick. But at this point, when they both follow suit, we know that our king will drop the last heart. And now we can take advantage of our last 2 hearts. We can win the 8 and the 6. Of course, ignoring the fact that I've got the king, queen in the dummy.
What about if on the first hand you play the 8 and they take it with the 10? You played the 8, on that example, you went and played the 8 of hearts and East has the 10.
It doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't matter.
They'll win whatever. The idea is to give them the first trick.
Okay.
I mean, you can try not to, but I mean, when you look at this arrangement of the cards, if we show all the cards,
Okay.
here's the queen jack. I put the queen jack 10 on this side.
Okay.
It didn't
Gotcha.
really matter.
Okay. I'll
Okay.
mute myself again.
Oh, okay. So if we look at some examples of preserving entries, how do we play this hand? Low card to the short side. Excuse me, high card from the short side. We're going to win the first trick with the king. That's the thing. This is just a little review. How do we play this combination? We have 8. We have a long suit, 5 cards in the dummy, and 3 on our side. Let's give them the first trick. This is kind of interesting. If we give them the first trick, they'll lead back a club because that's all I gave them. I am using the robots here. Now we should be able to use our entries. We've got the king. You see, this is just a variation of the ducking play, which is what this is called when you duck the first trick. And now I can lead the 9 over to the king. Let's look at another example. What's the correct way to play this hand to preserve our entries to the dummy? Again, it's high card from the short side. Win the queen and the jack first, lead the 2 over to the ace and the king. On this one's kind of interesting. Once again, we have exactly 1 entry to the dummy, and we have a good chance of winning 3 tricks in the heart suit if the opponent's cards break 3-2. So what are we going to do? We're going to duck twice. Going to give them a first one. They'll lead back a club. I'm going to give them the second one, and they'll lead back a club. And of course, it's just a partial hand, and I obviously don't need all of these tricks, but at this point, when I play over to the ace, I can now win the ace. It drops the last heart, the king. I love seeing the king fall under the ace, and my 7 and 6 are good, so that all works out. Let's look at another situation where we need to preserve entries. In this case, I've set up this club suit just so I've got entries to either hand. And the usual case is where we have what's called a repeated finesse. When we have a finesse that works, we lead from this hand, and the king is in the right place so that the jack or the queen will win the first trick, then we need to repeat it, and we need to come back to our hand using an entry so that we can do the finesse again. So in this instance, we needed 2 entries to the south hand in order to do the finesse twice. Let me look at another example where we want to estimate the number of entries that we need. If we want to play this finesse in hearts, we need to lead from the north hand towards the queen. The queen is the card we hope to win a trick with. And that means that we will have to lead from the other hand and make east choose a card first. Now, when you have a suit like this, I didn't need to put in these clubs at all. I could just leave them out because we have an entry built into the suit. We have the ace of hearts in the suit, and we can lead on that side. We can lead a low card towards the queen, and here comes the king. When the king is played, then we get to play low and keep our queen for an entry. Now, whatever they return, oh, they return to heart. That's nice. So we get to win 2 tricks with this combination. So let's look at some combinations here and estimate how many entries to the dummy do we need to play this finesse in hearts. Can we do this one twice? No, we only get one attempt at it. We get to lead towards the queen, and if it works, then it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So we need 1 entry in this case. In this instance, do you see what's different? We also have the jack here. When I put in the jack, now we need 2 entries to the dummy. Luckily, we have 2. I can cross over to the dummy with a club 1 time, and I can try the finesse. And when it works, I can use another entry because I can't play hearts from this side and pick up all the tricks. I have to get to the other side of the table first. Take another finesse, and when that works, then we get all 3 tricks in the heart suit. Here's another example. Now, this instance may not look to you much like a finesse. It looks like we can always win 1 trick in hearts using promotion, right? I could just lead the king of hearts and drive out the ace, and when I do that, my queen is now promoted into a winner, and I've gotten 1 trick. And you know what? If I only needed 1 trick in the hearts, that would be fine. But if I want to get 2 tricks in the hearts, I have to treat this as a finesse. I can't lead from this side of the table. I need 1 entry. I need 2 entries, actually, because if it works, I have to repeat it. So with this combination, I need 2 entries to the dummy. Let's play 1 entry. I'll use the king first. And this is how we get 2 tricks in the hearts. We lead a low heart, and as it turns out, if East plays high and they take their ace, I don't want them to do that. If East plays low, second hand low, then we'll have to repeat the finesse. Let me show you how that would work. First, I'm going to cross over to the dummy with the king, and if I lead a heart from here and East plays low, I can put in the king or the queen, and since East is holding the ace, I may as well just show the cards. Now my king will win, but I cannot now lead the queen and get a second trick. In order to get a second trick, I need to cross back to the dummy using the jack. Oh, wait. And repeat the finesse. At this time, perhaps East may take their ace. The advantage of making one opponent play before you play your high cards is that if they take their higher card, the ace, you get to play a little one. And that means you've preserved your high card for a later trick. And this way now we can win 2 tricks with the hearts rather than just one. Here's another case where you might need 2 entries. In this case, what we have is a double finesse against the jack and the king. So we will have to lead from the other side of the table, win the king, lead a low heart. When East plays low, the correct card to put in is the 10. Now it may lose to the jack or the king unless both the king and the jack are on the other side of the table. When the 10 wins and both the king and the jack are in the East hand, then that means that we can repeat the finesse. And this time we'll lead low. Here comes the jack. We can put in the queen and it works. So this is a case where we need 2 entries. Now, I want to show a hand. I want to show how this works in a hand. So I'm going to actually go to a hand. We're going to set it up to play. Let's go through the bidding. This is a 1-no trump opener. Let's see. So South is going to open the bidding 1-no trump. Partner is going to bid 2 clubs Stayman. We're going to say 2 spades, saying yes, I've got 4 cards in the spade suit. And our partner is going to bid 4 spades. So we're in a spade game. And the opening lead is going to come from West, and it's going to be this. And so let's plan the play of this hand. We're in a suit contract, so we need to count losers. We'll come back to the spades in a minute. I'm going to go from right to left. In the diamonds, we have 2 losers. With that Queen of Diamonds lead, it looks like we're going to lose at least 2 diamonds. It would be very optimistic for the ace to be in the West hand. For one thing, if West were holding the ace, it would be a mistake to underlead the ace. So it's safe to predict that the ace is probably over on our right, which means we're not winning any diamonds. And it's not going. Our king is dead. It doesn't matter whether we play it or not. So we lose 2 diamonds. That's 2. We can afford 3 losers and still make this contract. In clubs, we don't have any losers. We don't have to worry about them. In hearts, we don't have any losers. We don't have to worry about that. So it comes down to the spades. If we lose 2 tricks in spades, we will not make this contract. Let me show you how it's possible that we could lose 2 tricks in spades. First, let's say that we play our king, which might not have been the best idea, but it's not going to make any difference here. We're going to lose the first 2 diamond tricks, and they're going to try taking a 3rd one. But they can't get this one because we're going to trump it. Now, let me show you all the cards. At this time, notice how if I lead a spade from this hand, I will lose 2 spades. And here's how that works. Say I lead the king, it's going to lose to the ace. Now, they may lead, it doesn't matter what they lead back. Let's say they lead a club back. We'll win that one. If I lead a spade now from this hand, it doesn't matter if I lead it from either hand, actually. They will win the next 2, they will win a spade trick. Our queen will win a trick. That's fine. But notice now that the opponent's jack, the jack of spades here, has been set up as a winner, and we've lost 2 spade tricks. We have gone down in the contract. So let's go back to the beginning where we've got the Queen of Diamonds lead and show you how we can plan to make this contract. In order to make the contract, we're going to have to plan to do 2 finesses in the spades. They're going to take the 3rd diamond. We're going to trump that in our hand. So what we have to do is lead spades from the dummy towards our hand and hope that East is holding the ace. If East is holding the ace of spades, then we have a 50-50 chance of making this contract. And the thing is that if it works, and East is a good defender and they play low, second hand low, then we're going to have to repeat the finesse. So that means we're going to have to get to the dummy twice to lead spades. We have exactly 2 entries. and that's key. So I'm going to lead a heart over to one of my heart entries, the ace. If I were, I could. There are many opportunities to make a mistake here. If I would decided to take my king of hearts now, that would be a mistake because I would no longer have a second entry to the dummy to take this finesse. Let's take the spade finesse and see how it goes. Well, the first time it works, so that's good news. And the fact that I've saved my king of hearts to get back to the dummy means that I can use the king of hearts, repeat the finesse, lead another spade, and this time East may take their ace, but luckily I have the 7 I can play under it, and that means the queen is now the high card in the spade suit. We've lost 1 spade trick and 2 diamond tricks. Whatever they lead back doesn't matter, because now I can pull the last trump with my queen, and the rest of my hand is good, and we're making 4 spades. Okay, that's enough for this morning. I'll stick around for a few minutes for any questions, but otherwise, good luck in today's game. Thank you all for coming.
Hi, Morris. I have a question. Hi, good morning. The very first example you gave where you gave up a trick, how do I know when I do that?
Yeah, it's, here we go. It's when you can look at you've got an 8-card suit or a 9-card suit. You can see that you have no entries other than that suit itself into the hand.
Okay.
This is the case where in order to save your entries, once you've set up the suit, you have to save the entries. Then you have to give the opponents, you have to give them one of the tricks, maybe sometimes 2 of the tricks. And the way you know that is you have, see, if you can see that if you played this suit the other way, if you took the first 2 tricks, you still have to lose one, and if you lose the third one, you won't have any hearts in your hand. I mean, when you see it happen, it becomes obvious. You usually only see it after the fact, right?
So you're assuming a 3-2 split.
Right.
So
You're assuming a 3-2 split. If you don't have the 3-2 split, it just won't work. And if it won't work, it won't work.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Really good mini lessons. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Mojo, in the last hand you took, I was expecting you to duck again, and so I'm missing something in my understanding.
In the hand, the full hand I played?
The very last one.
Oh, the last example.
Yeah, I thought you would duck. You had the king queen, and you didn't duck. You took it.
Oh, on the first. Oh, let's see. We're talking about this hand. Oops, wrong share.
Yes.
There we go. In this hand.
Yes.
Well, okay. You mean on the diamonds? Or are you talking about the spades?
The spades, you didn't duck, and I was thinking you would duck. You took it with the king.
Well, I'm playing. This isn't a ducking play. This is a finesse.
Okay.
And the idea is that we have to. So I'm trumping this one, crossing over with a heart. So this is the trick you're talking about, right? Where the opponent plays a 9. What would it gain me by ducking?
Right.
You know, if I duck here, I'm losing the trick. Plus, I'm losing the ace of spades, and so we're automatically down 1. Okay. I have to play the king here and hope that the ace was in this hand.
Okay.
And if it's not, then it's not going to work. I'm down 1. But if the ace is in the correct hand, then we're winning 2 tricks. The problem now is that you have to repeat it. You have to do it again. And you can't lead from the south side of the table. You have to lead from the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, I better go. We got a game to start.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.